Last week I sang it was all about the game. This week I wonder if I even knew what the game was. Multiple timelines, multiple different interactions, everything moving. It's a game of chess on a level I've never seen before. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing Westworld, Episode 7. Now, this is the part of the episode where I say something witty, or, well, probably not so witty, about theme and symbolism and about role-playing experience and about video games, maybe about other TV shows. I can't really talk about theme and symbolism right now, though, because to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to puke or cry. This episode hit you in all the feels. The writers really knew what they were doing. They punched you in just the right order. Light, medium, heavy, light. Just enough to leave your head spinning. And then, oh boy, that ending. Normally I throw up then a warning or two. Spoiler and trigger. Oh boy, was tonight's episode triggering if you weren't careful. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. So you'll have to excuse me if this review isn't as exuberant as I normally am. But I'm starting to see a pattern here. William and the Man in Black stories are running in such a way so that we get Teddy and the Man in Black in 1 week and William and Dolores in the next. At least that's the way it's been for the most part. And I have to say I like it. I like the fact that there is still the question about if they're the same person or not. And most of what happened this week happened outside the park, so we're going to start inside the park. Let's deal with what happened with William. Instead of using a video game or Ren Fair for this analogy, I'm going to use a strip club. The idea of a strip club is that you're buying the fantasy. Yeah, those women are getting paid, but you're supposed to turn that off, and they're supposed to sell you on that idea. Well, the hosts do that on a level that is just way beyond. Now, first of all, these are really good actors and actresses that we're talking about, but at the end of the day, the hosts can get into your mind and can work on what your weaknesses are. And in the case of William and Dolores, we have the perfect setup for William to buy into the fantasy. Now, in this particular case, we find out a little more about William, too. Did we have the name Juliet before? I don't remember. But either way, Dolores sells herself completely and totally, and William's all buying. From the scene where she storms off mad, to the way he comes and comforts her, when he says, "It feels like I've always been pretending, but here I can be myself." I want you to think about that for a second. Here I can be myself. How strong of a draw would that be for you? The freedom of not having to watch what you say, the freedom of just doing what you want and having someone that completely and totally mirrors that back at you. Sounds like true love to me. And here William and Dolores seem to have it. And to think I was pulling for Teddy this whole time. Now, as this goes on, though, she starts to have this vision dream where he became her muse, and she sees where what she says is the mountain meets the sea. And as such, our two lovebirds are riding off into the sunset. But I want you to think about again the whole words that she used. I'm not a key, I'm just me. Seriously, these writers were on overtime and writing dramatically powerful lines. I do want to just ask, just to throw this out there for you, who do you think is the better love interest? Teddy or William? In my case, it would have been Teddy right up until tonight. But that's enough with little shocks. Let's talk about unresolved issues. Specifically the fact that where in the hell is Elsie, the programmer who found that device? What happened to her? Did Bernard off her under Ford's control? Or, I mean, if Ford knew that was going on, so many questions. As annoying as that is not to know, the much more annoying, and the first gut-wrenching punch of the night, goes to a scene that might be the single most disturbing scene I have ever seen, even on HBO, and I've seen some disturbing ass shit. When they went to freeze everyone and pull in Clementine, That was some pretty thrilling and heart-pounding moments when we were wondering just who they were there for, but what they did to her. First, let me start by saying I know it's a TV show and not real. Then let me say, even within the show, she's just a robot. Yeah, fleshy made robot, but still just a robot. No, what they did to her, though, still hit me so hard that it was the first time that I thought I was going to puke. Her standing there and being activated so that she would go for the guy and then the guy attacking her. Although there was a little bit of catharsis, because I have to say, when she attacked back, I kind of smiled. And then came the worst part of it, being put down like a rabid dog, and the fact that it was all just BS. The fact that they programmed her to do it. It's like training a dog to fight, and then shooting the dog for fighting. And I don't know, maybe I'm just going soft in my old age. But all of that was set up for the second gut-wrenching moment of the episode. What, you might ask, is worse than watching a woman get the shit kicked out of her and then shot for the act of defending herself? Well, then we go to Maeve, and Maeve comes to try to help her friend, and has to see exactly what happened to her. In fact, I'm glad Maeve didn't get to see the exact way it happened. But no, Maeve got to see a lobotomy being performed on her friend. And you know what? I'm glad she's taking control. I'm glad she's trying to escape. There's at least some silver lining in this storyline. Some strength that comes from the fact that, my God, the way they torture these things. But you see, even that was just set up. Because you see, in that we learn, hey, that worker is really one of the hosts. A host that's programmed to be reacted to as if they were human. Because that's something we can do. And there's a Chekhov's gun that we don't need to wait very long to interact with. So I know what you're thinking. What could possibly be worse than having someone get the shit kicked out of them and then killed just for trying to defend themselves and then get lobotomized while their friend watches, helpless because she realizes that there's no control in her life? Oh yeah, what's worse is just more violence against women. And in this case, it is not against one of the robots, because we get one of those shocking turnarounds. Okay, so Bernard gets fired, and then Bernard goes and gets Teresa and walks her into that spot where we saw already that Ford has those special robots that he keeps for himself. And then everything goes crazy. It all starts when Teresa asks, "What's behind this door?" And Bernard asks, "What door?" And all of a sudden I'm flashing back to the Sixth Sense. Yeah, because the robots can't see things they're not supposed to see. And then she goes down and she sees the designs for Dolores. And then she sees a second set of designs and asks him what he sees there. There's nothing there as far as he's concerned. Because once again, they're not supposed to see what they can't process. Not to say told you so, but I did say a couple weeks ago that we wouldn't know who was real and who wasn't. And now we know that Bernard is just another machine. Another bioprinted machine, clone thing. But at the end of the day, his whole backstory is made up. Much like what we learned about Teddy, and having one of those Wolverine fill-in-the-blank pasts. There was plenty of foreshadowing, too. I could kick myself for not seeing that Teddy's fill-in-the-blank past and this guy's happened at the same time. The fact that his son died, the fact that Teddy had that whole grudge with the other soldier, all of it came out in the same episode, and that was a clue. And when they were laying in bed, Teresa and him, she asked, "Is that what you're doing, just practicing?" As if he were a robot. They've been hitting us with it since episode 1, if you want to know the truth. Lots of clues, lots of things I overlooked. But no, if you're thinking that the ghost in the shell was the scary and the gut-wrenching, it's what Ford does next. Ford has Bernard kill Teresa. Kill his lover, kill the person that he trusts, and he just does it, because it's in his programming. And then tra-la-la, back to normal. Everything is just another normal day in Westworld. And I know I said I wasn't going to do a lot with symbolism this time, but I want you to think about the fact that that machine was writing a new person, a new biosynthetic android, a new robot, whatever they want to call the hosts. It was creating life. And while it was creating life, Bernard was killing the woman he loved. So you were watching birth and death intermixed through love, through hate, through cold inefficiency, through machines. But at the beginning of this video I asked about what game they're playing, and I mean exactly what the experiment, what the special thing that's going on in the background really is. Is it about AI? Is it about blackmail? Is it what? I don't know. But whatever it is, Ford's playing a game with this company that I think William and his wife and his brother-in-law own, or at least high up in. And at the end of the day, I am so confused. But maybe it's because I just can't process it. Because I'm still reeling from watching a woman get the crap kicked out of her and then killed, watching another woman have to watch her friend get lobotomized, watching a person I thought was a person turn out to be a robot, and then boom, watch him cold and calculatingly kill the woman he was sleeping with, and then go about his day like it was nothing. Because Sir Anthony Hopkins plays a monster way too well. Because when he explains that the hosts are free, because they're free under his control, just terrifies me. This is the part where I want to ask you how you feel. If it felt like a gut punch to you, all of these, especially in quick rapid succession. This is the part where I'm supposed to wrap it up and talk about how the whole theme of the whole series is becoming something else, and what sort of monster plays in this type of playground. But I can't. I don't know. Again, I feel like I got punched in the gut tonight, and that's the sign of a good show, but it might also be the sign that they go for shock a little too easily. And I don't know. So I'm going to end abruptly here, and just ask you to do all the things you normally do. So for now, I need you to like, subscribe, and share this video so that we can grow this community, and then join me back here next time as we take a walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching.